Okay. I'd like to call the Berlin School Committee meeting to order. And I have a request to move the playground bid to the end for two reasons. Just we thought we could get to the other two items more quickly, and also Robert Conry's not quite here. So do I have a motion to move items 3 and 4 on our agenda up? And move item 2 to the bottom.
Yes, so moved.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
No, think it's a good idea.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the first item we're going to discuss is to vote an additional school choice slot for grade 5 at Berlin Memorial. Jeff, do you want to speak to this at all?
Yes, we had a grade 4 student move at the end of last year, so we're asking for a vote to add one additional school choice slot for grade 5 this year. It has no impact on the enrollment.
Okay.
And it allows that student to complete their elementary school career in Berlin.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Okay, any questions or comments?
No?
Okay, I'll call for a motion to approve the additional school choice slot for grade 5.
I move to approve the additional grade 5 slot.
And I'll second that?
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the Moses Reed Tyler Trust. This is something that we get annually. It's an annual report fiscal year. And we just need to approve this report. So, any questions or comments about it?
Go ahead. You have questions?
I
can see your notes.
questions. No, I had questions only because I'm new on the board, so this is first time I'm seeing this, and I'm just wondering, I assume we're just approving the report, nothing particularly in the report. This is the activity for the past year. But I'm wondering, it made me wonder a couple things as I looked at it. When was the last time that anyone sat down with the management company to review this fund, its goals and its distribution of assets and its management fees, et cetera? Do we know?
Do you know?
I can tell you that it's not been done since I've been on the school committee for the last 6.5 years, but we are so blessed to have I don't want to put her on the spot, so you can say you don't know, but we have Chris Keefe here in the audience, and I know she's been on school committee like 15 years
Okay.
prior to mine. So my question is, I'm sure we have records of this in our files, but if you happen to know off the top of your hand, I'm wondering if Bowditch and Dewey has been our trust officer for several years, or if sometime it's switched, as far as you know. Yeah.
Actually, I do think that Diane Peterson, when she was on the board,
Yeah.
may have done some changing to make more revenue.
Mm-hmm.
But it has always been with Bowditch and Dewey, as far as I know.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's a long record.
It is
Yeah.
Okay.
So how long ago was Diane on the board? Roughly?
About
90,
10, 15.
97.
Oh, it was quite a while ago.
Way back.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I would like to suggest, alongside accepting this report, that we set up a meeting to review the terms of this fund with Bowditch and Dewey, and make sure we're clear, negotiate anything we might need to negotiate around fees or anything like that, and make sure we're getting the best we can out of the fund.
Okay. And we would include our business manager in that with us?
Yes, I think that'd be great if you'd like to
Sure.
participate. Yeah, because I think it's certainly time to at least have a sit down with them, and just, we can certainly ask for a reduction in fees, or see if there's anything like that, just so we can, or if it's time to reallocate the
Investments.
I think
Right,
it-
It's
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
had
right.
questions about those things, yes.
Okay, so as chair, I will reach out to our trust officer and see if at some point we can schedule a meeting with her.
Right.
Okay, or someone else you might recommend we meet with at the firm.
Good.
Okay?
Thank you.
So, back to, do I have a motion to approve the Moses Reed Tyler trust account?
And the execution of the assent form? Is
Yes,
that it
please.
with that? Okay. I move to accept the Moses Reed Tyler Trust Account Report and the execution of the assent form.
Then I'll second that.
Okay, any other questions or discussion?
You?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda, the playground bid.
Okay. So I'm sorry I was late. I
okay.
stopped at the room that was locked,
Oh, yeah.
then walked around upstairs for a bit and
No.
on my way back. So I submitted a report. We had 3 bids on the playground project. The companies were Pro Build Designs, Ultiplay Parks and Playground, and Game Time. And we used, as an example, we used one of the Game Time playgrounds as a model that we put within our bid documents to have something that people could respond to, but we didn't want to and shouldn't be making it the only playground that would be suitable that we'd accept. Otherwise, we'd only have one bidder. So in construction, there's a way of doing that where you basically say essentially the same form, fit, and function will be considered. So the bids that we received, I think were all, I'd say the second bid was essentially the same form, fit, or function. The first one, there was an issue with, they didn't include mulch in their bid. Per state Mass General Law and procurement guidelines, we're not allowed to accept a modification to a bid. It's possible they might have been able to modify and been still under the price of the second company, but we're not permitted to accept a modification to the bid. That notwithstanding, in addition, we did reference checks. We received, we eliminated the first one because it was outside of our budget range, the highest bid of Game Time. Our budget range that we posted in the document was $120,000, which is comprised of $110,000 in town funding, a combination of Highland Commons and a capital article. And then the playground committee has actually handed me a check for $7,000, but we anticipated we'd be able to raise 3 more if we needed to. So both the first and the second bid were within those price ranges, and the third one was not. So I checked references on both the first and the second, received very favorable and prompt responses from the second bidder. That gave me a comfort level with them, and they also contacted me during the bid process with some questions. The first company, I had 2 phone numbers on references that were disconnected. I had another reference that said they were okay, and one reference that was positive, and I was not able to contact the largest project reference that they had on their list, which was the only project that was larger than what they bid on our price. So I didn't really have a comfort level even with the references if I was to, if they were to have included mulch in the bid. So I went over the funding. So the rule for an award on a construction project is that we're supposed to award the bid to the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. Our school committee policy indicates that we should be recommending an award, the administration, and then the school committee would approve it. I would say we can't legally accept the third bid based on, we need to accept the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. My recommendation is to accept the second bid, that the first bidder is not responsible and responsive because they haven't been able to hold their price firm, and I haven't received satisfactory references. And there's a third thing I don't think I included in my report, which is their insurance they carried was, on one of the elements, was below the limit that we specified in our bid document.
The first one.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I can say that I think the playground committee also looked at the bids and felt comfortable with the second bid, even though we developed the model on the third highest bid. I think we felt like they were a reputable company, we had good references, and they had a good presentation of what they plan to do. So my recommendation is that the district awards the school committee to Altiplay Parks and Playground, Inc. for the bid amount they submitted of $116,591. I don't know if you have any questions, but
Do they include in their bid a timeline for completion?
we've specified one. We have also had some small delays. One was because around so what our timeline initially was specified as, we've kind of moved beyond that a little bit. We got feedback from a couple of the vendors that having a bid deadline around the 4th of July was going to be problematic due to vacations and things like that. So we pushed the bid back to the 18th to get more bidders and
Okay.
more competition. They are, as a next step, going to meet with us, do a site visit, show us a model design of how they lay it out, and we anticipate this not being the next step after that meeting would be we have volunteers organizing to remove the existing equipment and basically prep the site so that the contractor can come in and do the installation.
So when would be your rough estimate, given the delay?
I would guess it would be completed sometime in October, if not before that, but that would be kind of what I think would be the...
So playgrounds will be off limits until
For a period of time.
maybe November, beginning of November, maybe.
That would be my estimate. And we'll get more time from them. I know they've done some of these projects in a few days. I think the biggest delay will be, I think there's a month lead time for them to order the equipment once we give them the go-ahead. So there'll be a month before all the equipment will be accessible for them to
Okay.
install. And I think the actual installation doesn't take that long, like a few days.
Just wondering if anybody's, putting thought into alternative play for kids while they're outside, given the absence of a playground for several months, couple months.
I did mention it to the principal, and he said they'd be able to work around it. What specifically what his plans were, I can't say I know.
Okay, just let
But
somebody's
he will
giving
be
it
in-
some thought.
Yeah, he will be in the next meeting, so the next meeting will be, include the principal, our facilities director. We have a community member who's a certified playground safety inspector,
Yeah.
Lynn, who's helped us with this, who we invite to the meeting as well, and also as the playground committee representative. So that would be kind of the next step, which we would, upon award, I've contacted them and said that, once this is awarded, we'd want to meet next week.
Yeah, great. Good, well,
That sounds good.
it does, and I appreciate all the work that this has entailed up to this point, and to the review of these bids and so on, because I know that represents a lot of back work that we're not seeing right here in this document.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
And I do want to thank the playground committee who didn't just request it, they did a lot of work to kind of
Yeah,
move the
sure.
project forward. So I think they
Yeah.
invested their sweat equity in the project.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Playground Committee, I have 3 of my ladies are on family vacations, and the 4th that's on the committee is doing a barbecue dinner. She's helping serve and volunteer for kids with special needs.
Very nice.
So I became the representative again tonight.
That's
And I
very
would like
good.
to thank very much both the Berlin Committee and the District Committee. Jeff was really good, and Bob gave us so much extra time and help. That
That's
was
great.
super. And
That's
the
great.
last thing we really need to thank also is the selectmen in the town and the citizens for voting for it. I know children for just coming 4 or 5 years, plus in future generations, will be very happy to have the new site, and it's going to be much more accessible and safe.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just laid out. And I remember at town meeting, all these people standing up saying, I played on that playground when I was in school, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
So I'm really, really happy to see this
We are too.
replaced.
We appreciate all the
and
help.
Up to snuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the bid from Ultiplay, thank you. Parks and Playgrounds Incorporated.
I motion to accept the bid from Altiplay Parks and Playgrounds Incorporated for $116,591.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. And I'm sorry, we didn't have any petitions and audiences at the beginning of this meeting. Is there any petitions and audiences
Comments?
on the agenda? Yes?
Actually, I'll just say that I was telling Jeff on the way in that I wanted to show my support for you having a meeting in Berlin.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Any other school committee comments?
Not for me.
I have one if you
Yes.
don't. So, and if this needs to go to, I didn't make it in, I actually didn't realize, didn't think of it. We have a donation that per school committee policy needs to be accepted by the school committee. If it's more appropriate to have it on the August 28th agenda, we can do that.
Yes.
I think we need to. I
Yes.
think it needs to be a
Yeah.
posted agenda
Okay,
item,
so
unless
hold
it's
on to-
something that absolutely needs to be
No, so
approved
we can hold
before
on to the
then.
check for 2 weeks, that's fine.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
wanted to bring it up.
All right, great.
Great.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, that is nice to hear.
Okay. No further comment? All right, so I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
I just want to say, we're looking forward to the start of school, which is, I think, children arrive on the day of our next meeting, correct? So it's a big
That's true,
day
that's
for,
right.
take you away from all of that to come to a meeting that night, because we're sure you're going to be exhausted along with everybody else on that day. So we look forward to hearing how the first day kicks off, and thank you in advance for
Well, we look forward to
coming
the
to that.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
You make it.
I move that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
All
that.
right. Any other comments?
No.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.